Hi, my name is Kay Bishop. Welcome to Web Development for Graphic Communications. This is the first day of school that I'm recording this, so it may be the first day for some of you of college if you're freshmen, and that's the first day of school for I've got a middle schooler and a high schooler, so lots of butterflies, and I always get nervous when I teach the first day of class too. So this is a little bit of an environment because we're in a web-based entirely kind of instruction. This is a entirely web class, so everything's going to be delivered on as you learn, and I'm going to go into more detail about the structure of the course and how it's organized. First of all, I just want to give you a little bit of background about myself. I was born in Taiwan. I grew up in Texas. I've moved around. I've lived in Chicago, China, Alabama, and I'm happy to call Boone home now. So I do live in town. Should you need to meet with me during office hours, or we could always schedule a video meeting. Since this is usually a pretty large class, it's hard to find a time that works for everyone, so I will be recording all of the Zoom sessions that we have, and you can always go back and view the videos. I've also got embedded video tutorials that you can always go back and watch as well, and those videos are really important for this class so you can keep up with what's going on and how to do the work. So again, back about me, my background is in graphic design. So I have a BFA in visual communications. I worked as an art director, a graphic designer for about 5 years in the magazine world in the Chicago area. And then after moving overseas and having kids, I worked as a freelance graphic designer, mainly in editorial book publishing for several years. And then also have a background and an interest in art education. So I've been teaching art to kids from preschool to high school. I've just taught some high schoolers this summer. So I'm really excited about art ed. And then also I am pursuing my master's currently in educational media. So I'm very interested in new media literacies with a global perspective. So I'm transitioned to last semester to teaching full-time in the Department of Art, and then I'm also a graduate student. So like most of you, I've got a full load and also driving my kids around all over the place. So that's a little bit about me. Hopefully you'll get to know me a little bit better, and I look forward to getting to know you all better in this class. Hope to schedule some face-to-face kind of meetings with y'all. You can always stop by and see me during my office hours. Right now, my office is in Harper Hall in room 129, and I'm planning to be there on Monday, Wednesdays from 1 to 2, Tuesday, Thursdays 9 to 10, and Fridays 9 to 11. So that could change, and I will post that on our course page on my weekly schedule as that changes from week to week. It's also, my current office hours are listed on the syllabus on As You Learn, which we can go over that more later. So a little bit about me, now more about this class. I'm really looking at this, since you know a little of my background, from a graphic communication standpoint with some basic foundational graphic design, and then coming at it also from this educational media background that I'm currently learning about. So a lot of the assignments are going to be research-based, and by that I mean having you read some articles, online blogs about current trends in web development and things that are going to help you with the technology side of it. Since this is a web development class, we're going to be looking at that, but we also will be learning how to do some basic coding using HTML, HTML5, and CSS, and using Dreamweaver as the software application to implement that coding. So this is not a coding class, but you will be required to understand some coding to be able to build sites using Adobe Dreamweaver. We're also going to be using Adobe Photoshop to format images and learn about proper image formatting for web. And then you can use other applications if you're familiar with them, such as Illustrator or InDesign, to do some website planning. We'll talk about that more as it goes on. There's no prerequisites to this class, so you're not required to know those programs, but it is helpful to have a background in that. I'm also going to be using a Mac computer, so with all the graphics, I use Macs for everything. So if you're not on a Mac, there is a textbook that has some of the tools that you'll need in on a PC Windows platform. But just so you know that I'm not that familiar with the Windows PC platform, so I'm going to be talking about it from a Mac platform. There is a required textbook, and that is an Against the Clock textbook for Adobe Dreamweaver, the professional portfolio in Adobe Dreamweaver. And I know that the school the bookstore may not have it available yet because my contract is always processed super late. I just got it like a couple of weeks ago and still don't have access to my courses on the first day of class. So there's been some technical issues. With that said, you don't really need your textbook until September 24th. So we won't be using the textbook, or you won't be doing any homework assignments from the textbook until it's not due till October 8th. So I'm just recommending, or you're not required to have it until September 24th. So you've got some time to get it and some time for the bookstore to get it shipped in and everything. You can get an e-book version of the textbook. It will save you money, but you'll have to be going back and forth if you don't have a tablet, and that has caused some students frustration. So just FYI, if you're using the ebook, it's better if you have a tablet or e-reader to use simultaneously as you're trying to work in Dreamweaver. So if you've heard some things about this class from friends who've taken it before, I've changed some things. I've reformatted every semester. I've changed some things to try to implement what I've learned from previous semesters and comments and evaluations from students. So there have been some changes. So just so you know, whatever you heard, it may not be applicable this semester. So I'll try to let you know as we go some of the changes that I have made, and I really try to streamline it and to make it more accessible for you and more understandable. So hopefully it's going to be more helpful for you this semester. So that's a little bit about the class. I also want to talk about what it means to be an online student. If you've never taken an online course, you really need to stay on top of the schedule. We do have deadlines, and that's really to help you so you don't get behind, and so I can also keep up with the grading. So please do download the schedule on the syllabus, print it out, do whatever you need to keep up with that and with the deadlines. You're welcome to work ahead if you want to get ahead. I start off kind of slow in this semester, but then it really picks up speed in around Module 4. And Module 4 is when you're required to actually upload your site files to the ASU web host. And so that's a requirement for this class. It's totally free for you as an ASU student to use the ASU web host. Should you want to use a different web server, you can, just so you know that you probably have to pay a subscription for that, and I may not be able to help you with the web host if it's not one I've used before. So you can talk to me about that if you have any questions about it. But the ASU web host should be fine for most of you, and again, it's free, so I can't go wrong with that. So to be an online student, you really need to be self-motivated and independent in keeping up with the work. Check as you learn, like every day. In fact, I check it more than once a day for my online courses. So just the more often you check it, the better you're going to do in this class. So I will also send out weekly announcements, usually by Tuesdays. That's when a new module will open up. And if you don't get it in your email, just check it on the announcement section on our course site on As You Learn, where everything is going to be delivered. So I'm hoping to go over that with you on a desktop screen capture once I have access to my courses on As You Learn and can get all that content plugged in. But for now, just want you to kind of get a feel for who I am and the course. And I'm going to try to set up a Zoom meeting on this Tuesday so that we can have some Q&A time and I can go over the syllabus and the As You Learn course organization more. And then if you've got any questions, please bring them there to the Zoom meeting and I will record that. So I think that's probably good to get us started. I know there's a lot of material that still needs to be covered, but I'll try to cover that in the Zoom meeting. So for now, we'll go ahead and let you I'll go ahead and let you go, and then I'll see you in the Zoom meeting.